Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of the Atlanta United Staying Up Career Mode Challenge. Today we are going to have some pretty exciting games. This first one's going to be against Southampton. As you guys can see on the screen, the top three goal scorers in the league with 4 goals each all come from these two teams. Joseph Martinez and Miguel Almiron at 4, and then Buffal at 4 as well. So this was definitely going to be a challenging game nonetheless. We managed to beat Liverpool on the road last game. This time we are at home against a currently top 4 team in the league. Whether or not it stays that way by the end of the season, obviously we will see. But it is going to be a very interesting fixture nonetheless. We also have a game against Manchester City at the end of this episode, along with a cup game after this Southampton match. So very interesting episode ahead. Definitely a very stressful one for me to record. It was a very difficult episode to record. A lot of very good teams, and it just showed kind of the weakness in the defense that we do have. And we end up conceding very, very early on here. So as you guys can obviously tell, it is starting to affect us a little bit. We are conceding goals basically every game at this point. The rest of our team feels pretty good. I'm pretty confident with our midfield, honestly, even though it is a little bit weak. I can still play pretty well with the midfielders that we have and make them do what I need them to do against the other teams, even if they have better midfielders. But the defense just doesn't stack up, and it creates a lot of problems for us. But we do end up going into the second half down 1-0. But here in the 52nd minute, we get a very good opportunity. Joseph Martinez held that ball up perfectly, and Villalba gets it into Miguel Almiron, who manages to get us the goal, the tying goal. So we are 1-1 at this point. Still a lot of time left on the clock, though, a lot of game to be played, but it did show again that we can get ourselves back into games. But it is going to be, until January, it's going to be a scoring contest for us to continue to do well in this league. We're going to have to outscore teams any way we can, and here in the 67th minute, it gets even more difficult for us. This time Buffal ends up getting on the ball, but instead of scoring, he passes it straight across the entirety of the box. None of our defenders get on it, and I believe it is Tadic at this point who ends up grabbing this goal and giving them the 2-1 lead. So they've restored their lead pretty quickly after we managed to tie it back up. This is very difficult of a game. I will say Southampton surprised me a lot in this game. I didn't expect them to give me so much trouble. In other career modes I've played in the Premier League, I've never had too much trouble with Southampton. They've never really been one of those teams for me, but for some reason it just kind of felt like my defenders weren't able to kind of get the ball away from any other players at times, and we end up going 3-1 down at this point. You see I bring like 4 people in, and none of them for whatever reason actually want to tackle or even attempt to tackle the player on the ball, and we end up conceding again there. So 3-1 ends up being how this game looks like it's going to end. Charlie Austin gets a very good shot on goal, but Brad Guzan is able to put a hand to it, and they get one more corner opportunity before the end of this game, and they just kind of whip it out, but we managed to block it down pretty easily. So we managed to only lose this game 3-1. Still super disappointing to lose this game nonetheless, but a lot of decent performances from a lot of the players on the team. Obviously only 1 goal, so it could only go so well for the rest of the team, but clearly the defense was struggling in this one, and a team like Southampton, we're gonna have to try to figure out something a little bit different next time we go up against them if we want to get the win. But like I said, that is only one part of this episode. There's still a lot of things to look forward to, and the next game in this episode is going to be in the Carabao Cup, or the Carabao Cup. And we're going to end up playing against Sheffield United, obviously a weaker side, so we are going to be able to play our second team and throw in a lot of the backup players. Bobby Boswell is going to come into defense with Robinson. Mears is going to come in at right back, Chris McCann at left back, Kevin Kratz in the midfield, and Yamil Assad is going to come out for Andrew Carlton. Just kind of working the team around. I wanted to play Carlton as center attacking mid. Like I've said in many episodes before this, I do really like Andrew Carlton playing at that center attacking mid position. I think he does well at left mid, but I do think he plays a little bit better at that cam position. I think he plays very similar to Miggy and he gets himself into very good opportunities. So he's definitely a player that I needed into the squad, and I think he plays perfectly in that cam role, along with Kenwyne Jones, who's just kind of going to hold the ball up for Andrew Carleton and make some more runs on the team. So here in the 25th minute in this game, Sheffield United ends up holding the ball up pretty well, just kind of passing the ball around, and it starts to show the weakness in the squad. Certain players not really marking as well as they should. Chris McCann ends up not defending as well as I needed him to in that scenario, and we end up going 1-0 down pretty early on in this game. So super disappointing to go down early in this game, because I did feel pretty confident that we should be able to do well against a team like Sheffield United. Not to say that they're that much better or anything like that. Clearly we're playing in the Premier League and doing decently well, but here Kenwyne Jones gets tackled into the box, and we are just kind of putting some decent passes together, not trying to rush anything, but Andrew Carleton gets a lovely little touch on the ball and powers that shot near post and beats the keeper to get us 1-1 in the match right off the kickoff. So he did bring us back into this game very, very well. He feels very good in this career mode. He felt really good in the MLS career mode as well, but he felt kind of on a different level in this game. And I think he's going to have, I wouldn't say a bigger role in this series, but he's definitely going to hopefully be getting more gameplay time. I'm going to listen to loan offers. I'll end up putting him on the loan list if a team does want to come and try to grab him, because obviously that second half of the season I should hopefully have other players in, and I want to give Andrew Carleton as much game time as possible. But outside of cup games, I'm not entirely sure how much of an opportunity he's going to have. So here we're going to end up ending the first half with one more opportunity to try to grab a goal, but just couldn't get the ball forward fast enough, and we go into the second half at a 1-1 draw. Here you're going to see a nice little hold-up play from Kenwyne Jones, kind of just holding off the ball as well as he could. Andrew Carleton made the lovely little run and shoots it on his left foot this time and straight into that bottom corner instead of the top corner this time, and makes it 2-1 in this game. So 2 goals for Andrew Carleton, playing very, very well in that center attacking mid role. Kenwyne Jones doing what he needs to do to hold that ball up and get an assist off of Andrew Carleton. So they're playing very well together. Kenwyne is kind of showing that maybe I don't need to sell him right away. He can definitely do a job so long as our center attacking mid is prolific enough to score goals. So I think he could definitely play with Miguel Almiron or Andrew Carleton at that cam position. I wouldn't really bank on it against maybe some of the bigger teams, but here you're going to see Kenwyne Jones had a very good opportunity to get a nice little side footing goal, but just ended up not getting onto it. But Brandon Vasquez comes in the box at the right point and just smashes that past the keeper. Pretty picturesque to the Andrew Carleton goal in the first half, but managed to grab himself a goal as well, making it 3-1 in this game, shoring up that we will be moving on in the Carabao Cup. So like I said, I am putting a lot of interest into this and the FA Cup because I want to try to grab trophies as fast as possible in this series. And obviously we aren't challenging for the Premier League currently with this team, so we're going to try to, just get the results that we can in the cup games and see if we can get ourselves hopefully a cup win, but also to get ourselves in the Europa League either this season or next. So a lot of good opportunities here. Definitely going to be easier once we get some new signings in, but we do end up going 3-2 at this point, straight off a kickoff, just not really defending, getting a little lackadaisical. Chris McCann comes off at this point as Greg Garza comes in just to shore up the match and make sure that nothing really happens on that side of the field again. Here in the 90th minute, the ball ends up traveling pretty far into our half, but we managed to pick up the ball and just kind of try to pass it around and get it out from our side of the pitch and try to either grab another goal or really just play out the clock. And here we did have Joseph Martinez come into the game, and he has a very good opportunity to score here and just pushes it a little bit wide as the last kick in the game. So we do end up winning that one 3-2. Moving on in the cup, definitely going to try again, like I said, put our best foot forward and try to get as many good results as we can. Brandon Vasquez had some decent opportunities in that game, but just only came up with the 1 goal. But again, can't really complain too much from 3 goals from your second team. But we are going into a much bigger game when you look at the table, and I believe at this point Manchester City is in 4th place and Arsenal is in 5th, or Atlanta United is in 5th. and it's going to be a very big matchup. It's kind of the same table rankings it was for the Southampton game. Obviously, Manchester City a lot stronger of a team, but like I said in the last episode, I've been a little bit of a giant killer in previous career modes, and it's kind of looking like it's going to be one of those career modes again. So hopefully we can put in a good performance against a very strong Manchester City team. Obviously, in real life, currently unbeaten in the Premier League, looking like they may be able to challenge Arsenal's undefeated season. But here, I thought I ended up going down at the end of the first half, but Kevin De Bruyne was offside, and we managed to survive the first half at a 0-0. Not much going on in the first half, though. It was kind of end-to-end, but neither team could really come up with that last finish that we really needed here. Miguel Almiron almost has the opportunity to score, but I believe I'm not sure who they have in goal at this point. I don't think Ederson was playing in this game. Like I did say, when you play against the bigger clubs, it's a little bit more difficult to get them to play their full strength lineup. Here you're going to see we managed to put a lot of pressure on them. Here, Manchester City is trying to put as many players forward as they can to grab a goal. We managed to make a very good defensive effort there and just go straight on the counterattack with Miguel Almiron and Joseph Martinez. Tito Villalba also making a run down at the side, but he was being defended pretty well. So Miguel Almiron manages to get into the box and run past his defender. Joseph Martinez pokes that ball past the keeper and gives us the goal in this game. So 1-0 in this one. In the 85th minute, I was pretty sure that we were going to end up getting the victory here. At the 86th minute, surely we wouldn't give up a goal, but as you guys have seen in the past few episodes, anything can happen straight off the kickoff. It seems like a lot of goals can come from situations like that. After the goal, we do decide to bring in Andrew Carlton for Yamil Assad because Yamil was a little bit tired at this point. That did give Joseph Martinez his 5th goal for the season, tying himself with Miguel Almiron one more time in the league for the Golden Boot race. So hopefully we can keep them up in the race like we did in the MLS series. So I will have that series coming back either tomorrow or the following day. We should have an episode of the MLS series up where we kind of work with some of the transfers. But here you see straight off the kickoff, they put the bodies forward, and Kyle Walker got himself into a very good spot and grabbed himself a goal, his 2nd goal of the season. So that is how this game is going to end. Very disappointingly, we could have 3 points from Manchester City, but we are going to have to settle with the 1. Joseph Martinez gets a very good opportunity to score right there, but just isn't able to beat the keeper. So we do have to take the 1 point for what it is. Again, the challenge is to stay up. It's not to win the league. So results against big teams, regardless, are going to be very good for us. So in the next episode, I believe we are playing Manchester United in the first episode, or the first game of the episode, rather. So definitely make sure you guys check that episode out. That is going to be the end of this one. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy. And until next time, I will see you guys later.